All right, guys, go ahead.
Chris, those moves were very close in time. Was getting Sean Walker a parlay to send Bo to Buffalo and get Mittelstadt?
It was certainly part of the equation. It would have been really hard to move Bo. It was hard to move Bo, period. He's an amazing human being, a great hockey player. So that's one of the tougher things we've ever had to do. But definitely getting a really good defenseman in return was certainly part of the equation for us, yes.
You saw a lot of teams making moves today. Why do these top level teams are making moves today? Just in your opinion.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's 3 games tonight. We're one of them. So, I think teams are always sort of like you got to manage your roster and your cap. And, on game day, you don't want to necessarily take guys out if you can't get their replacements in. So I think maybe that's part of it, or maybe it's just coincidence. So as you see, we had to recall 2 guys tonight because we couldn't get Sean and Casey in. So maybe that's part of it.
You guys took a gamble over the summer on the Ryan Johansen deal, and he's under contract for another year. How big was it for you to not only trade that contract before next season, but to do it here now in March?
Yeah, Ryan was a really, he put everything he had into it. It just wasn't working for whatever reason, and he's a really good person too. So, but definitely the cap logistics of it was definitely an important part. We still, the Gabe situation is still very much an unknown at this point, and managing that part and having the taser extension kick in. Was definitely part of the math calculation as well, because we're going to be tight.
There's a lot of centers moved in the last couple of weeks, so how important was it to get not somebody that's just going to be a rental, but somebody could be around for a little while?
Huge. Yeah, it was huge. When Joe and I and the staff, look at it, it's obviously a premier position in the middle of the ice. Where were we getting the next our 2C? We do believe Callum Ritchie has that potential, but he's still very young, and we want him to cook and come when he's ready to thrive, not survive at the NHL level. So I think getting a player in this age bracket with the controllability, as you referenced, was really important. It's trading a Bo Byram, you're not trading him unless you're getting something that you're really excited about in an important slot in your lineup. And it was a hard decision, but we feel it was the right one.
What do you like about Casey's game, and does he project as a second line center from the day he walks in here?
We believe so. I think he's their leading scorer, but he's got good hands. He's a very good playmaking center with really good vision. We think the last 2 years his game has taken a jump. He's gotten stronger with experience, and we think there might even be another level to his game, and we think we have a very good role for him. So we're excited to get him in the burgundy and blue and go from there.
With all the trades you guys made today, you somehow managed to accumulate an extra 2.5 or so million in cap space. I guess the deadline is still 40-something hours away. Are you done, or is there still a possibility for more?
Well, we're always trying to improve, and I know you guys probably get tired of us saying that. So we're, if this ends up being all that we do, we feel we're better today than we were yesterday. But we're gonna, leave no stone unturned and see what the next 48 hours holds with the deadline on Friday. But we're breathing easier today than we were yesterday. That's for sure.
You mentioned Landeskog being an unknown. What do you know about his progress at this point?
Just that things are going well. Ryan, but there's a lot of runway still. We're 2 years in, and again, we miss Gabe immensely. He's a super hockey player, but this is uncharted territory, and he's doing everything we can. And he's getting the best medical care, but we're hopeful. But there's still lots of runway there.
You said you're breathing easier today than you were yesterday, and you also said how difficult it was to trade Bo. That sounds to me like there was great emphasis on finally solving that 2C issue for you.
Yeah, I mean it's a crucial position to do what we're going to hopefully try and do come playoff time. When you look at the teams in the West and any team, you got to be strong in the middle of the ice, and we feel as good as our back end, was with Bo, we feel, Sean Walker is going to come in and do a really good job. He's a really good player in his own right, and being able to put him in that mix and put Casey and solidify the second line and give the coaches and our players another weapon there, we felt was really important.
As you mentioned, the Johansen thing didn't work out for whatever reason. A lot of times someone in your position will double down because you put your name on it. But is this another message to not only the locker room and fans that we're all in, we're going for it? It's not, is it any different than that? It just feels like you're all in.
I think it just was a matter of it wasn't working, and we had to fix it, and it demanded attention, and we felt this was the right move. It wasn't easy. I keep saying that because Bo is a special player. He's young, and he helped us win immensely. So I'd be lying to you if I said it didn't put a pit in my stomach, because it did. But I felt it was the right move at this time for the club.
Nico was saying that.
In
Go ahead,
the
Megan,
past,
then we'll go ahead.
leadership has had influence on some of these new additions. McKinnon has weighed in on players like Parise. I was curious with some of these new additions and throughout this deadline, what those voices have been like throughout the process.
Our guys are really supportive. They're Nathan and Kel, Miko, and Devon, Andrew. We lean on them. I pick their brain, and Joe picks the brain. Coaches, everybody. They have a voice, and it's important. I think those guys have done a great job building this culture, and they have a feel for what's going to fit in, and I think when guys come in here, it will elevate their game as well, and I think that's because of those players.
Pat? Nico was saying today that you view Val as almost like a trade deadline acquisition when he comes back. Do you kind of do with that? Is that kind of part of the equation when you're making his return?
It was certainly important. If Val wasn't in a good spot physically and mentally, that's a huge piece of our top six lineup. And I mean, you guys seen him play and what he's capable of doing and how well he was playing. He touches every facet of our lineup: power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, 3-on, all of it. So getting him back, trade deadline ad, or however you phrased it, Pat, it's just a massive addition because he's such a good player. And you put him in and Casey Mittelstadt, and it's sort of like 2/3 of a second line that we didn't have in our lineup last week.
About three, four more. Go ahead, Colin.
You talk about McKinnon and all the guys that are playing now. Did you have conversations with Gabe as the captain with these personnel changes?
I talk to Gabe all the time. He's our captain. He's in touch with our group. So not sure day-to-day type things on every potential acquisition or thing we're kicking around, but certainly the important stuff. He has a big voice and is always gives me an honest opinion and assessment of things, and somebody that we lean on and will continue to lean on in all facets of our team.
Evan?
You talk about, obviously, the trade deadline here, but you also have Nikolai Kovalenko coming over after his season's over.
Yep.
So do you guys view him as someone who can help out down the stretch?
We do believe he can. Yes, they're down 2-1, as you know, and listen, it's gonna be an adjustment, right? It's good hockey over there. He's not a kid. He's not 18 or 19. He's a man. We do believe there is an NHL player there. How quick it's an adjustment, right? He's never played over here, but we're really excited about how he may potentially fit in the lineup. So definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do. We're excited about that we were able to get him signed, and he's had a very good year. So he's a good prospect for us.
Ryan?
Talk to us about Georgiev's fit, I think the last time we talked to you, but how comfortable are you with this goaltending tandem or maybe kind of trio that you have here moving into the postseason?
Well, it's Eustace has done a nice job here. Forget the fact the back-to-back shutouts. He's just played good hockey games and given us a chance to win, even going back to the game in Detroit. And whether it's slowing down for him or he's practicing up here. I think that's a big difference. You getting, reps with McKinnon and Rantanen and NHL shooters. It's different, and I think it's an adjustment, and it's easy to be impatient and think that, a Justus Annunen or an Ivan Prosvetov can't be the guys, and sometimes you have to see if they can be the guy before you know if they're the guy. So I think Ivan, it was the right time for him to go down and play consistently, and we've seen what he's done. So listen, it's a very small sample size, but Justus was drafted. He was really liked by our scouts. He's been a good American League goalie. He's taking advantage of the opportunity that he's been given here. Hopefully he can continue to do that, and we're excited to see it.
Last one, Kyle. You mentioned Val earlier. Now that he's missed time in the playoffs and now a big chunk of this season, just what's the organization's level of confidence in him that he can return to the lineup and put some of those past issues behind him?
High. He's done. He's tackled the treatment, the way he tackles his on ice and off ice conditioning. I'm proud of him, and first and foremost, hopefully he's in a good place, which we believe he is, and he's a husband, he's a dad, and he's a member of our team. But we just want Val to be healthy. Bonus will be getting Val back to what he was in the fall and previous years with us. We all know his importance. He's been a monumental piece for us and our on-ice success, so we're all pulling for him.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.